Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Anthony, and I am the program coordinator for the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program. On behalf of Wake Forest University, welcome to the Summer Immersion Program information session. Our session tonight is designed to give you a better idea of what the Summer Immersion Program is and how to apply. Tonight, we'll introduce you to our professional staff, explain who the Summer Immersion Program is designed for and how it benefits students, walk through the application process and timeline, explore all of our amazing 23 institutes, including new and expanded ones, and give you a feel for campus life and a day in the life of a summer immersion student.
Good evening, everyone. I am Betsy Schneider. I am the director of the Summer Immersion Program, and I am so excited to be with you all tonight. The Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program was founded in 2015 and is now entering its 11th year. It's very hard to believe. Our program offers a one-week on-campus experience designed to empower high school students to explore future career pathways, develop new skills, and gain clarity about their academic and professional goals. Students engage in hands-on, real-world learning alongside Wake Forest University faculty and industry professionals. For one week, we invite students to set aside the pressures of high school and rediscover the joy of learning for learning's sake. It's not about textbooks at the Summer Immersion Program. We want every student to have that light bulb moment, a spark of insight that helps them see their future more clearly and feel more confident about what lies ahead in college and beyond. So it really takes a village to run this program successfully. You'll see our pre-college programs team here. This is our full-time professional staff who oversee marketing and enrollment, programming, and curriculum development, operations, student life throughout both the school year and over the summer. So as you can see, we have 6 professional staff members, and we are in the process of hiring 2 more staff members to create a really well-rounded team to make the Summer Immersion Program run. In addition to our professional staff, high school students are supported during the summers by Wake Forest undergraduate interns who serve in a mentorship capacity. Residence life coordinators oversee our residence halls, and then our incredible academic leaders, who are faculty and professionals, teach each of our 23 institutes.
All right, so the summer immersion program has 3 core goals. The first one is providing experience and exposure. So students can choose from 23 specialized institutes and learn practical insights from field experts. Second core goal is preparing students for college. So, getting a true taste of college life by living in our residence halls, eating in our dining hall, and even attending a Wake Forest admissions information session. And then our third core goal is building a network. So students can form lasting connections with peers from across the nation and world, as well as with mentors who can help guide their futures.
So oftentimes a question we get from students and families is, who is an ideal candidate for this program? So the Summer Immersion Program is designed for high school students who are curious, motivated, and eager to learn something new over the summer. Whether you already have a clear idea of what you want to study or you're still exploring, this is a perfect way to test the waters, so to speak. You might discover that medicine, business, filmmaking, or something totally unexpected is a great fit for you. Think of it as a bite-sized preview of college life that helps you narrow down potential majors before you even step on a college campus. We don't actually have a formal minimum GPA requirement, but we are looking for students who are academically driven and ready to take on a rigorous pre-college program experience. Applicants are asked to self-report their GPA, And if a student doesn't have a GPA, or if a student's high school does not calculate GPA, then we would just ask the student that they put 0 out of 0 for that field on our application. Equally important, we are looking for students who demonstrate strong character and leadership. Respect, collaboration, and open-mindedness are really at the heart of our community, and those are what make a positive and inclusive learning experience for everyone.
So now that you've heard a little bit about what the Summer Immersion program has to offer, we would love to show you a glimpse of it in action. So in the video that you're about to see, you'll get an inside look at life on campus, some of the hands-on activities you'll experience, and hear from past participants about what they gain from their program. So as you watch, just imagine yourself here at Wake Forest, meeting new friends, diving into subjects you're passionate about, and taking that first step towards college life. So let's roll the video.
The Wake Forest Summer Immersion program was my first exposure to what a college classroom would look like. It definitely helped me because when I finally got to college, I was used to being in a seminar setting. It really came full circle when I started taking classes that my academic leader from Summer Immersion teaches now. We're in the same classroom that we were in years ago.
Students get to experience life on campus. Students do lots of hands-on labs and learning and engage in Wake Forest University classrooms. The Summer Immersion program is open to high school students from all over the world. Any grade level is able to apply. They can figure out what it is they want to pursue in their lives.
I highly recommend this Summer Immersion program. I met some of the best friends that I'll ever meet, and I had the best experience on Wake Forest campus.
Great. So that was our video. I always love watching it. So now we're going to kind of dive in and go over some quick facts about the Summer Immersion program to give you a clearer picture of what to expect. So first, who's eligible? I kind of talked about this already, but the program is open to current high school freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Students who are ready to explore new fields, meet new driven individuals, and get a taste of college life. Our programs usually range between 20 to 50 other students in each institute. What will you be doing? So you saw some of this in the video, but each institute is a week-long deep dive into a specific career pathway or field of study. So whether it's exploring medicine, business, or law, each session is designed to give you hands-on experiences and real insights into that field. While these institutes are non-credit programs, you will earn a certificate of completion from Wake Forest University to mark your achievements. Where does it all happen? Right here on the beautiful Wake Forest University campus in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. When do our sessions take place? Sessions run weekly from Sunday through Friday throughout the months of June and July of 2026. So hopefully throughout those 2 months, students are able to find a week that works with their summer schedule. We do not offer programming the week of July 4th. Why should you join us? This program is all about giving you clarity, experience, and exposure, and the confidence that spending time on a college campus builds. A common question that we get is, does participating in the Summer Immersion program help with admission to Wake Forest University? While participation does not guarantee admission, we have zero affiliation with Wake Forest undergraduate admissions. Many of our alumni do go on to apply and attend Wake Forest. More importantly than that, though, students tell us that the experience on campus gave them confidence, clarity, and direction as they begin their college search, whether they end up at Wake Forest or any other institution. Participating in any university-based summer program like the Summer Immersion program is also a strong example of demonstrated interest, something that Wake Forest and many other colleges consider during the admissions process. So I hope that clears up kind of the big question of, if I do the Summer Immersion program, will I get into Wake Forest? The answer is not always.
All right, next let's talk about one of the most valuable aspects of the summer immersion program, our academic leaders. We are so fortunate to have 27 dedicated academic leaders involved, including Wake Forest faculty members and industry professionals. These leaders bring a wealth of expertise, experience, and their own networks to each institute, and they're here to share that with you. Our academic leaders are not only experts in their field, they are super passionate about helping students explore and understand the real world possibilities in careers, from anywhere from engineering to healthcare, business, and beyond. They'll guide you through hands on projects, share their insider knowledge, and introduce you to potential career paths that you may have not considered before. So, for example, we have two Wake Forest faculty members from the psychology department serving as academic leaders for our Psychology Institute. And another example, we have two orthopedic surgeons from Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center serving as our academic leaders for our Sports Medicine Institute. In short, academic leaders are here to help you imagine your future, gain a clearer sense of direction, and take meaningful steps toward your career goals. So when you're here, you're not just learning about a field, you are connecting with inspiring mentors who really, really want to see you succeed.
All right, I know this is what everyone kind of wants to see, a preview of what institutes we're actually offering this summer. So let's explore the full lineup of institutes we are offering for summer 2026. This summer, we are excited to offer 6 weeks of programming. Our first week of programming will be the week of June 7th, and our last week of programming will be the week of July 19th. We will not offer programming, as I mentioned, the week of June 29th for the 4th of July holiday. Specific institute dates will be announced on November 1st, which I know is everyone is just excited to see when all of our institutes are being offered. Those will all go live on our website on November 1st. Students can choose from 23 institutes across STEM, business, civic engagement, and the liberal arts, including favorites like medicine, sports medicine, law, business, sports marketing, and psychology, and of course, all of the others that we listed. Each week features 7 institutes operating concurrently for students to choose from. So no matter your interests, there is something for everyone, and students will be able to network and engage with like-minded students across all these different fields when they're on campus with us during the week. For summer 2026, tuition will be $3,500 per week for all institutes, regardless of theme or subject area. And we also offer need-based financial aid and encourage families to apply early when our application opens on November 1st. Our Scholarship Review Committee does start reviewing need-based scholarship applications in November, and we do award scholarships on a rolling basis until our funds are exhausted. So I do recommend applying early and applying for scholarship early.
Now we'll talk a little bit about what the day could look like after academic programming ends for your institute. So our academic day wraps up anywhere between 4:30 and 5 p.m., and then students have free time until lights out at 10:30. During this time, students can head to the dining hall for dinner anytime between 5 and 7. It's an open window, so you can go whenever best fits your schedule. Students are also welcome to order food to campus if they would like a change of pace. And then each evening, our student engagement interns, who are current Wake Forest students that live in the residence halls with the summer immersion program students, host a variety of evening activities. These interns serve as mentors as well throughout the week and just help make sure that there's always something fun and engaging to do. Evening activities typically take place after dinner, so earliest would be 6, latest would be 9, and they are optional but highly encouraged. They are really, really fun, a great way to unwind and then meet students from other institutes who are learning different things, but are and coming from other places in the world, but really, really interesting networking connections there, and then strengthen the friendships that you are already building throughout the week with your potentially your roommate or other students from your institute. Some examples of evening activities include sports like volleyball, kickball, basketball, spike ball, panels that are led by our student engagement interns, such as how to write your college personal statement or just college 101 basics to college. And then creative and social events. So we have karaoke, we do various crafting events, baking, and then game night. You can stay for as long as you'd like at any activity or just drop in for a bit. We also have sports equipment, board games, and various other supplies that students can check out at any time. One important note, students are not permitted to leave campus or use the gym during their week with us at any time. Gym policy states that only students that are officially enrolled at Wake Forest University are allowed to use the gym facilities.
Great. So now we are going to dive into what it's like to live in a residence hall during the summer immersion program. So during the program, students stay in two separate residence halls, one for male students and one for female students. All rooms are doubles and include a mini fridge, microwave, and air conditioning. Oftentimes we get lots of questions from our northern families asking if our residence halls have air conditioning. It does indeed. Each building also has elevators, and bathrooms are either hall style or suite style, depending on the residence hall. If you are accepted to the program and you decide to come to Wake Forest with a friend or someone you know and would like to room together in the residence hall, you are welcome to submit a roommate request once you've both been accepted to the program. What you would do is you would just email us for the roommate request form, and we would email that to you both, and then both individuals would need to fill out the roommate request form, and that needs to be completed by April 10th. Most students, however, don't come to Wake Forest knowing anyone. They don't necessarily come with a friend. Most students, they don't request a roommate, and that is totally normal. In those cases, we'll pair students by age and institute, so you'll room with someone who's in the same program as you and hopefully meet a new friend. Our student engagement interns and residence life coordinators are our staff members who live in the residence halls throughout the week and provide supervision, support, and plan fun evening activities. These individuals will act like our Wake Forest camp counselors of sorts and will be there for students as mentors and additional support in the evenings. For added peace of mind, our campus security is on duty 7 days a week and patrols campus and around our residence halls throughout the night. Students are required to be back in their rooms by 10:30 p.m., which is when quiet hours begin. And we all know that a good night's rest is crucial for students to get the most out of their summer immersion program week. So we do implement the 10:30 lights out quiet.
All right, so let's take a look at a sample schedule. This will give you a sense of what a typical day might look like during the summer immersion program. And we are highlighting our incredible Technology Institute here this evening, where students get to play around with basic coding. They get to hear from Wake Forest grads who work at Google and Microsoft about their careers. They get to visit the GM NASCAR facility. They get to visit some really, really cool places and see just kind of top of the line technological innovation happening and really they're really able to picture what a career in technology could look like for them. So it's clearly one of my favorite institutes. So I'll stop talking about it. But for each of our institutes, no matter the topic, each morning begins with a check-in with a staff member, followed by breakfast in the dining hall. And then the academic day officially starts at 9 a.m. unless there is some kind of early morning field trip or travel to a field trip that kicks things off a little bit sooner. And then once you're in the classroom, our teaching assistants usually start things off with a fun icebreaker just to help students get to know each other and build community and warm up to each other for the day. And then throughout the academic day, students experience what truly sets our program apart from a traditional high school class. So they'll have opportunities to hear from guest presenters, participate in labs, various hands-on activities, build things, take things apart, learn directly from our academic leaders and other experts. Many institutes also include off-campus experiences. So I mentioned field trips a little bit ago. So visiting hospitals, labs, major businesses, financial institutions, or sports facilities, just to name a few, depending on the focus of your institute. So, no matter which program you're in, every day is packed with engaging and meaningful experiences. We are also mindful about breaks. So, we work, and you may not necessarily see it a ton here, but depending on the institute, depending on the cadence of the day, we are definitely working in breaks throughout so that the students have you know, consistent time to recharge, use the restroom, check in with family before they get right back to it in the classroom. So academic day, like I said earlier, wraps up between 4:30 and 5, depending on the institute. And then, of course, we go into our dinner window, our evening activities, and then that lights out time at 10:30 p.m. Each institute also includes an official Wake Forest admissions information session, which I believe we mentioned at the beginning, and we partner closely with the admissions office to offer that. And it is the one that you would sign up for when you're coming to Wake Forest for a campus visit. And then students also enjoy a guided campus tour on Sunday when they arrive, and that is led by our staff. So that is not an official admissions guided tour, but that is led by our wonderful student engagement interns and teaching assistants who know the campus inside and out.
All right, so now we'll dive into the application process. Our application will open on November 1st, so everyone mark your calendars. The application process is very straightforward and overall very easy to complete. To get started, students should visit the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program website. There is a menu bar at the top of our homepage, as you can see with the big arrow, and a menu item that says apply. From there, you will navigate to a page that explains eligibility and a button that says apply now. From there, you will be prompted to create a login and a password, which will allow you to save your progress on your application and then return to it at any time. So, you could get the personal part done and then get it all completed, get the need-based scholarship completed, and then kind of wait and think a little bit before you dive into your essays. So it allows you to kind of save it, come back. If this is your first time applying, you will need to create a new account with our Wake Forest Pre-College Programs portal. If you've participated in or applied to a Wake Forest Pre-College program in the past, you can simply log in using the same username and password that you have done before, that you have used before.
All right, so once you have created that account or logged back into your existing account, you will then enter your basic student and parent information. Once this is done, then like Betsy said, you can move on to the scholarship application portal. There's a question that asks if you would like to apply for a need-based scholarship. If you answered yes, then additional questions will populate below. If you answer no, if you are not applying for aid from us, then just select no, and then you can move on to the next section. You'll then tell us some information about your school and self-report your GPA. Just to repeat, if your school does not calculate GPA, no worries at all. You can either estimate it based on your grades or answer 0 out of 0, no problem. We then want to know what you're involved in. So the activities and distinctions section allows you to tell us about your extracurriculars and any awards or honors you've received that you want to share with us. And of course, these can be things that are related to your school or can be outside of school, with another organization or just on your own. After this, you will then have the option to upload a profile photo.
All right. So as we mentioned, we do require 2 short essays as part of the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program application. So each of these essays should be about 250 words, so not long at all. These essays help us get to know you better and understand why you're interested in our program. And drum roll, we are now announcing our essay questions for summer 2026 application. So the first essay question, which we got very creative this year, if you could instantly institute one minor, highly specific law or rule that everyone in your school or community must follow, such as every meeting must start with a joke, or all crosswalks must play 8-bit music, what rule would you choose and why? Your choice should reveal something important about what you value or what you find inefficient in the world. So This is your chance to share who you are, your interests, your values, and what makes you unique. We want to learn more about you beyond the grades and test scores and beyond the extracurriculars. So be creative and give us a snapshot of your thinking. Please do not use ChatGPT for these essays. We really want to hear about you and your authentic voice. The second essay question is, if you could open one secret door in your high school or current learning environment and find a totally unexpected resource, class, or person, what would be behind the door and why? What is the single thing you are currently most curious about that your present environment cannot satisfy? Here, we're looking for insight into what makes you tick or what may really excite you. It could reveal motivations as to why you are interested in pursuing the summer immersion program. What do you hope to achieve during your time in the program? Whether it's gaining hands-on experience, networking with peers, or exploring a potential career, tell us what you're hoping to take away from the experience through this question. Remember, these essays are a great opportunity to showcase who you are and why you're a great fit for the summer immersion program. So take your time with them, and we really look forward to reading your creative responses.
All right, let's now talk about how you let us know which of our 23 institutes you are interested in. So you'll have the opportunity here on the institute selection page to check mark all the institutes that you have an interest in. But please note that we do not directly accept students into the institutes that they check on this list. So once you've been accepted into the whole of the summer immersion program, it's a general acceptance, not specific to any one institute or week. Then you can register for the institute or waitlist of your choice. So if you are offered that general acceptance, then you will be able to register, of course, for any institutes that have open spaces. And then if the institute that you are interested in is full, you can also register for the waitlist at that time. And you can register for multiple institutes and multiple waitlists at the same time. We understand that you most likely have multiple areas of interest, and we encourage you to explore as many options as possible. However, remember that final placement depends on the availability of spots in each institute. So once you're accepted, you'll have that flexibility to choose based on what is still available. And this is why we encourage interested students to apply as early as possible after that November 1st deadline when our application opens, because we review applications on a rolling basis starting then, and then spots do begin to fill quickly for many institutes, including, to mention most specifically, medicine, finance and investing, sports business, psychology, neuroscience, and sports medicine. So if one of those stands out to you, as I'm listing them now, just know that we highly recommend that you apply as soon as you can after November 1st. All of those institutes that I listed did fill up before January last application cycle.
All right, so we do require a recommendation from a teacher, school counselor, or administrator at your school as part of the summer immersion program application. So we do require at least one recommendation from a current or former teacher, school counselor, or administrator at your high school. You can list as many teachers or counselors on your application as you would like, but we only require one, and we will read the first recommendation that we receive. So I recommend to students and families to put the name and email address of more than one potential recommender, because that way, you have a greater chance of receiving a response back sooner. For this process, you will first click on Add Recommender in the application, that little blue link there. You'll then need to enter your recommender's name, organization title, and email address. Once you've submitted this, we'll send an email directly to your recommender with a link to submit their recommendation. Be sure to remind them to keep an eye out for that email so they can complete the request as soon as possible. We will not read or review your application until we receive at least one recommendation. The other thing to note is this is not a formal college recommendation letter that your teacher or school counselor needs to write for you. It is a brief form that they will complete on your behalf. So there are a few questions and then a section for comments. So it is not as time consuming or cumbersome of a request as a formal college recommendation letter. It is a simple process, but it is a very important part of your application as it gives us insight into your character, work ethic, and potential from someone who knows you well.
Now let's wrap up the application process. Once you've finished filling out all of the application components, you'll need to sign the signature page. Simply type your name when you're ready to submit. You will also be prompted to pay the required $60 application fee at the time of submission. This fee helps us process your application and is non-refundable once paid. Before you hit that final submit application button, make sure to check the review section, which is along the side on the left-hand side of the screen, to ensure that everything is complete. Double check that all your required materials are in and that nothing is missing. So once you're sure everything looks good, just click that submit application button and you'll be done. And then we will review your application and get in touch with you soon. So an important thing to note is that you can click that gray submit application button before your recommender has submitted their materials on your behalf. So it will let you click it. It will submit to us. We will see it in there in our, on our side of things. However, we will, if they have not submitted your or the recommendation form for you, then that will you just won't move on to the next phase. So it will just be sitting in the awaiting materials bin. And once they do submit it on your behalf, then we will read and review it and get back to you. So, if there's some kind of, if they need us to resend the email, let us know. That does happen. We do understand sometimes school system emails block certain messages. So we understand the technological issues that can arise with this particular part in particular. Just let us know and we will resend it, and they can fill out that form real quick for you. So yeah. But if they have already added your recommendation form to your application, great. Like then it will go straight to the bin where we read and review it immediately. Just want to kind of clear up how that process works. So if you submit it and you haven't heard back from us and it's been 4 weeks, it's highly likely we just haven't gotten your recommendation request yet or recommendation form yet.
All right, admissions decisions. So as we've tried to reiterate throughout this information session, we review applications on a rolling basis, and we accept students to the summer immersion program on a rolling basis. So that means as soon as we receive a completed application with a recommendation, we'll review it. You'll receive a acceptance or a decision within 2 weeks at the latest. Please note that during busy times such as the holidays, it may take us a little bit longer. As mentioned earlier, acceptance into the summer immersion program does not automatically guarantee a seat in a specific institute. So to be clear, you are not receiving acceptance to the Medicine Institute. You are not receiving acceptance to the Business Institute. You are receiving acceptance to the summer immersion program in general. If you're accepted at that time, you will be given a link to a registration form, and then you can register for whichever institute has space. So it is a very general acceptance, and that is why it's critical to apply early. Once a student is accepted, as I mentioned, they must complete the registration form and submit a $550 initial deposit to officially secure their seat in their preferred institute. As we've reiterated, we strongly recommend applying early and, if accepted, registering as soon as possible, since many institutes fill as early as January, and we do not hold seats for accepted students until you register and put down that initial deposit.
All right, here are some final tips for putting your best foot forward on your application. So we recommend asking your recommender, whoever it's going to be, a teacher, a school counselor, a coach, via email or in person before you input their name and email into that section on your application. So that way they have a heads up, they know to be looking out for that email. And if it doesn't come through for whatever reason, they can tell you and they can update you and we can resend it. And just in general, that is the polite way to go about requesting a recommendation as well. So if they haven't heard anything from you about the summer immersion program, they have no idea what it is, they don't know you're applying, and all of a sudden they get this random email, they may just delete it. So we do recommend reaching out to them first, either via email or in person to formally request it, and then you put them in the system and then they get that request email from us. The next tip, timeliness. So institutes begin to fill by the new year. I gave that list a little bit earlier: medicine, sports business, psychology, neuroscience. I'm missing a few, but those are our top institutes and they fill the most quickly. So if you want your top choice, we recommend applying sooner rather than later. And then your essays. Tell us something about yourself that we would not know from other areas of your application, would not know from your extracurriculars and distinctions list, would not know from any other part of what you're sharing with us. We want to learn something new about you. And this is also this is a really great tip to carry forward into the future when you're applying to colleges. So you may attend other information sessions from admissions offices that are giving you advice on your college personal statement, and you may hear something very similar. They want to learn something about you that isn't showcased elsewhere on your application. So another great thing I love about our application is it is good practice for actually applying to college in the near future.
All right, these are some important dates. Each year, our application goes live on November 1st, so it's coming up. And as we mentioned, applications are reviewed on a rolling basis. If accepted, a deposit will be due at the time of registration. So there is no due date for that initial deposit. We just won't hold a seat for you until you actually register for that institute. Tuition, however, final tuition does have a deadline. So remaining tuition will be due on Friday, April 10th, 2026. And roommate requests will also be due then as well.
Just want to showcase one of our other amazing pre-college programs really quick. So we understand not everybody is going to be able to or want to join us in person on campus. So we wanted to talk about our online immersion program. So these courses run throughout the summer and the school year. They are 2 to 4 week long asynchronous classes that cover subjects like business, psychology, medicine, investing. You can see all of them listed here on the slide, with a Wake Forest undergraduate mentor and a final capstone project.
And we are just very proud to receive the ranking of a top 30 pre-college program in the United States. We are excited to enhance students' knowledge and positively impact high school students, giving them that clarity and insight to make decisions about their future. This is a quote from Lily, who participated in the summer immersion program twice. And she shared a quote stating she not only gained confidence, but was also able to flourish independently before embarking on her college transition. And that is our hope for every student who comes through the summer immersion program.
So now we'd love to answer some questions from the Q&A, and I'll read a few of these questions that have been typed into our Q&A box. If you have an additional question, please be sure to type it in there. Or if you have a specific question that pertains to a personal situation about your own application or anything like that, please email us at summerimmersion@wfu.edu. So, one of the questions that we are getting a lot is about scholarships. So, Betsy, can you tell us if scholarships are offered and when the scholarship application deadline is?
Sure. So, all of our scholarships are need-based scholarships, and the scholarship application is a part of our general summer immersion program application. If you're interested in applying for a scholarship, you would answer the question in the application, are you interested in applying for a need-based scholarship? Yes or no? If you answer that question with a yes, the scholarship application will generate. The scholarship application involves both quantitative data as well as qualitative data. So we ask for some financial documents from the previous year's W-2 for most families. And we also ask for a short personal statement as to why your family is in need of financial aid. From there, our scholarship review committee reviews scholarship applications in conjunction with the general summer immersion program application. And when a decision letter is sent out, if awarded a scholarship, the scholarship award will be in your decision letter. So it might say, congratulations, Elizabeth, you have been awarded a scholarship in the amount of $3,500, which would be a full scholarship for the Medicine Institute the week of June 8th through whatever. So at that point, you can either accept your scholarship by registering for that week that you are awarded the scholarship, or you can decline your scholarship by not accepting it, by not registering for the summer immersion program. There is no deadline for the application for any of our applications, whether it's a scholarship application or our general application, because as we mentioned, we review on a rolling basis. So we have students who apply in May and submit their application in May. We just recommend that, especially those who are interested in need-based scholarship, apply earlier in the fall when our application goes live in November, because we have a limited number of scholarship dollars. And once we exhaust all of our scholarship dollars, then we will not have any more need-based scholarships to award. So there is no deadline for the scholarship application.
Thanks, Betsy. Elizabeth, will you answer this question? If a student receives, or will a student receive information that their teacher has completed their recommendation form, or how will they know when that recommendation form has been completed?
So I don't believe that there is an automatic email. Is there an automatic email, Betsy? Okay, there is an automated email. I'm refamiliarizing myself with our system this week. So there is an automated email that is sent out when the recommendation is received, and that goes to the student's email so that you know that we have it. So that's a great kind of catch for if they haven't gotten that email, it went to their spam, they accidentally deleted it. So just let us know, send us an email, and we can always check on it for you, and we can always resend their link. Or if you wanted to add a new recommender, that is also an option. You can go in, you can we can do it for you on our end, or you can do it I believe on your end, but not after you submit your application. So you can add, we only read the first recommendation that comes in, but you can add more than one. So just let us know if you want to switch to a new recommender. If the first one you selected is just too busy, it doesn't have time on their plate, we'll switch it. So we understand that depending on timing during the school year, sometimes this can be a big request to ask of teachers. So just let us know.
And then Betsy, can you answer this question? If you have been accepted and you've paid the $60 application fee, will that application fee be applied towards your tuition once accepted?
No, the $60 application fee is separate from tuition. The $550 initial deposit, however, that holds your seat in an institute does go towards the $3,500 tuition.
Elizabeth, will you tell us if there's an overlap in content between the online immersion courses and the summer immersion courses? And if you would recommend someone doing the same course or similar institutes in our case?
Yeah, that's a great question. There is not a lot of overlap. So we developed those programs several years ago, and they remain. The content of those programs remains static. However, the Wake Forest undergraduate mentor that the student is paired with, that changes, and then the student gets to definitely gets to decide, kind of what their capstone project is going to be. And then our in-person institutes, they change year to year. Sometimes we get a new academic leader, we get new guest presenters. So that content for our in-person programs is constantly shifting. We are constantly improving. So the content is different. It does not overlap that much, if at all. So we actually do recommend, if you wanted to do the in-person business institute and then the online business program, then they would be a very good supplement for each other.
And Betsy, what happens if you are admitted to the program and all of the institutes that were your first choice are full?
If you're admitted and all of your first choices are filled, you have the option of adding yourself to a wait list with the 550 initial deposit. So you register and add yourself to a seat in a program with the 550 initial deposit. You also add yourself to a wait list with the 550 initial deposit. If you are moved off of the waitlist and into your first choice program, you have the option. So you'll receive an email that says, congratulations, a seat has become available in the Medicine Institute. Do you accept? You can either say, yes, move my deposit towards the Medicine Institute, or you could say no. And at that point, we would refund that waitlist deposit. Um, we see a lot of movement. Oftentimes, plans change, people get sick, kids need surgery. So, adding yourself to the waitlist is a good idea because you can always remove yourself from the waitlist and request that deposit back. So, that's what I would recommend. I would say the fact that all of you are here at this information session bodes well for you because you know that you need to apply early to avoid the situation of not applying until after January and a lot of our popular institutes being already filled.
Elizabeth, for any of our institutes, how much formal knowledge would you need in order to be able to follow through the academic?
I mean, our goal is none. So we want students who have zero knowledge of a particular field, but they are passionate about learning. They're curious about what it entails. We want them to feel like they can follow along with the content day to day through their program. So, for example, the Coding and Computer Science Institute. I'm picking this one because coding is this very niche, specialized thing. And it can seem like maybe you would need to come into the program with some basic coding knowledge. However, the program is designed so that you can join and participate and get the full experience without having ever coded before. However, if you are going into the program with some experience, there are some extra challenges that you will be able to participate in to kind of add so that there's more rigor to your experience and you're not bored. We definitely don't want you to be bored. So if you need like that next level, if you need for a particular activity or project or coding lab, then our instructor is going to give that extra assignment, give that extra level of rigor to that student who already may be an intermediate.
And this is just additional context because Elizabeth used coding and computer science as an example. This year we'll offer 1 week of beginner coding and computer science and 1 week of intermediate/advanced coding and computer science. So you can kind of choose your own adventure. Otherwise, all institutes are pretty baseline with no background knowledge needed.
And then Betsy, would you be able to tell us where we can find a sample of the curriculum and content for each institute?
Yes, so we have a really great web page for each institute. So I would recommend taking a look at each institute's webpage. We also have a really comprehensive Instagram and TikTok that really showcases a lot of the hands-on labs, a lot of the behind-the-scenes field trips, a lot of the notable presenters, and it also features student testimonials. So you can actually hear about institute experiences from students themselves, recent students. That would be your best, your best way to really understand what the schedule will look like.
So we have a couple more questions about if you applied last summer and you were accepted but deferred for the summer after. Can you tell us if that guarantees you a spot in your preferred program or if you need to apply again?
Yes, I can answer that question. So for our students who applied last year, were waitlisted, and then decided to defer to summer 2026, you all will receive an email the first week of November. So, November, probably November 4th, 3rd or 4th, that will allow you to decide if you want to register for an institute. You will get priority registration access. You will not need to reapply. We will just use your application from last summer. And yes, you will be able to register for the institute of your choice. You can also decide that, you're not able to do it this summer, but you want to defer again. So you can also defer to summer 2027, or you can request a refund at this point as well for those students who are waitlisted. Waitlist deposits are always refundable. However, our initial deposits holding a seat in an institute are non-refundable.
And just to note, in addition, um, if you get that email on November 4th and then you don't respond to it until February, then the institute of your choice will be full most likely at that time. So just be on top of it, be checking your inbox, and yes, then you will get that spot in the institute that you've been waiting so long for.
And one more question about scholarships. So Betsy, feel free to take this one. How does it work when you get a scholarship? Is it always fully covered, or what happens if you receive a partial scholarship?
Yes, so our scholarships are not really standardized. So you could receive a full $3,500 scholarship, or you could receive just the initial deposit of $550. It is completely based on your need. So as I mentioned, all of our scholarships are need-based. So we are looking holistically at your application. We are looking at your scholarship application. We're looking at your essays. We're looking at your teacher recommendations. And that kind of will help us make the decision of how much your scholarship award will be and what institute it will be for. So that is kind of it. Scholarships typically range on the low end, $550 to the high end of $3,500.
And then does participating in the summer immersion program or the online immersion program help or hinder your acceptance to Wake Forest?
I can answer that one. It certainly does not hinder anything. And like Betsy said earlier in the presentation, it does contribute to something called demonstrated interest, which Wake Forest does take into account. They look at a student's application holistically. However, if they haven't done one of our programs, that doesn't hurt their application, hurt their chances. But yeah, so it demonstrates interest just as, coming to campus for an official campus visit at any particular school demonstrates interest in that school, or attending an online admission session at a particular or given by a particular university would demonstrate interest. So it certainly doesn't hinder it. We definitely love Wake Forest. We want to share that love with everyone. And a lot of students that do end up coming and spending a week or more with us on campus in the summer, they end up falling in love with Wake Forest as well. And it does influence their decision to apply, and if accepted, their decision to attend Wake Forest.
All right, it looks like our questions are slowing down a little bit. Can you talk a little bit, Betsy, about being an international student and if international students are eligible for scholarships? Um, yeah.
Yes, we welcome students from all over the world to Wake Forest over the summer. Um, we have, I think this past summer, we had students come from over 18 different countries. So we love having our campus full of students from all over, providing different perspectives, and just it really enriches our campus culture. As to the question about scholarships for international students, unfortunately, we do not award scholarships to international students.
Will you remind us, Elizabeth, if all the professors, in our case, academic leaders, are Wake Forest professors? And will we know the professors before they arrive to campus?
Yes, absolutely. So I think somewhere around 70% of our academic leaders are Wake Forest faculty, and then the other 30 are Wake Forest staff or industry professionals. So if you visit our wonderful website and visit any of our institute's web pages on that website, scroll to the bottom, and then you will see who the current academic leader is for that institute. You can see their photo, read their bio. Some of the bios have links to some of the work that they've done. So yes, you can go ahead and find out about all of them right now if you want, and let us know if you have any questions about them or specific questions that you need us to forward to them as you're gearing up for your institute, because we don't share their contact information.
Thank you. And this is going to be our last question of the night, but if you did not get your question answered, again, please email us at summerimmersion@wfu.edu. We would be happy to get back to you. All of our team is on the inbox, so we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. But we're going to close it out with a question about roommates. So we want to know how you're paired with a random roommate. Is there a survey to fill out? And are you paired with roommates based on grade? For example, would you be a senior living with a senior, or how does that work?
Yes, I can take this one. So we pair students with other students who are in their institute and their same age. So, we are looking at all of the medicine institutes, and then we're sorting them by birth date. And typically, if it's a randomized, we want to mimic that authentic freshman year experience where you are paired with a random roommate. That is what Wake Forest's freshman experience or first year's experience. So yes, you would be paired with a student who is your same gender, age, and in your same institute.
Great. Well, I'll pass it back to you, Betsy, to do our closing.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight to learn more about the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program. We hope that you got your questions answered and you learned a little bit about what we have to offer over the summer. We are excited to share this unique opportunity with you. And if you need further information, as Becca mentioned, or have any additional questions or thoughts or considerations, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We would also encourage you to be on the lookout for our next virtual information session, in which we will have academic leader panels share about their institutes coming later this year. So with that, have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you this summer at Wake Forest.